Hello and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. I am so excited. I have founder Christy Reilly. She created the Power of You journal. Her company is called Your Journal Co. And it's absolutely beautiful. Her dream is to really help people through micro journaling and just really getting clear on themselves and growing and not feeling alone. And I'm so pumped to have her on the show today. You're going to be blessed. She is a print school alumni. She went through my program to help her take her idea out of her head and put it into her hands. And isn't it stunning? It's this beautiful, hear it? It's this beautiful pink linen. And we're going to talk about the power of journaling and kind of, maybe some misconceptions around journaling and how you can get your hands on one of these. But if you, like Christy, have a dream to create a printed product and you want to make a journal or a devotional or a guided workbook or a hybrid of some sort or your own sort of journal, I would love to welcome you into Print School. Just go to horacioprinting.com/print school where you can learn more and you can apply. Print School is an application-based program and our doors are open. We would love to have you inside. We have created such an incredible program. It goes through Print School. And then after you have your printed product, you actually get access to Launch School, where we teach you how to set up your website, your email marketing, your campaign, do a pre-order campaign, have your website all set up, all of it. So we want to help you every step of the way. And so without further ado, I'd love to welcome Christy to the show. Okay, let's get started. I am so excited. I have Christy on the show today. Christy is an amazing print school student. She's basically an alumni. She went through our program and has launched her beautiful, stunning journal. The front of it says the power of you. And she just has a heart for helping people through the transforming work of journaling. And I'm going to give you a chance. I'd love just to introduce yourself to everybody. Christy, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Polly, for having me. I am truly excited to be here with you. I guess a bit about me. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I now run my own business where I created the Power of You journal. I have found that journaling has been such a big part of my life. It started during a time when I was feeling really overwhelmed, as most of us do, being a mom, running a household, and trying to find myself in the middle of all of it was a lot. So I turned to journaling just to kind of try and make sense of things, and it became my go-to just for checking in with myself. I basically, my husband was running his business. My daughter was now in school full time. And I kind of was like, wow, the walls and my vacuum are talking back to me, and I love to clean. In the beginning, I didn't love cleaning my house and doing the dishes, doing the laundry, but I've learned that my mindset shift for that was that I'm creating a happy and healthy and clean home environment for everyone that lives in my home. So I've changed my mindset about that as well. But when I first started journaling, I used to write down, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess at this point I had been out of the work field for seven years. And I was a Zumba instructor. I was a real estate appraiser. I worked at a little gym with children. I was always juggling about 3 jobs, going back to school. And then when I became pregnant is when I was at the height of my fitness career, my Zumba career, but I had a very problematic pregnancy where I was forced, because my business was using my physical body. And my doctor told me, you cannot be teaching Zumba anymore. Your heart rate is getting too high and that's not safe for the baby. So I had no intentions of ever stop working, so I was forced into that through my pregnancy. And I always told my girls, I had such a great community. I'll be back, second trimester. And then it was fibroids. And then my third trimester, and then it was gestational diabetes. And then she was here. And then what I was making wouldn't have offset childcare. And
Yeah.
so it just kind of continued on. And I was so grateful. And those are the happiest years of my life to have with my daughter. And then she became more, she's 9 now. She became more independent and in school full time. And that's when I said, wow, I realized that I feel like my husband takes care of everything monetarily
Mm-hmm.
in the house. And like I said, I just found myself waking up and working out and cleaning the house and cooking. And I felt alone. I felt really alone because it was like everybody else was out there working, and I was admiring, wow, that's amazing. Like, you get to go to an office and people ask you, how is your day?
Mm-hmm.
Or, so over time, I just found myself really lonely and thinking, I don't want to just get through life. I want to feel excited. I want to understand how I can choose to experience no matter what happens in my life that day. And I started reading some self-healing books. I joined a self-healing circle, and I did a lot of inner work where I realized that, wow, we really do have the tools within us
Oh, yeah.
to shape our lives and our experiences. And it all really is a choice. Again, making sure, as long as our resources, the foods we eat, what we intake, making sure we can get as much sleep as possible and moving our bodies. But as long as you can do the best that you possibly can with those three things, I really felt like you can make choices that really align with how you want to feel every day. And I went from feeling, going to my husband's business dinners and I put on a smile and I'm the boss's wife. How are you? And I pretend like everything is good when really I know that maybe you're just being nice to me because I'm the boss's wife, So I started spiraling down, does anybody really care anymore?
Mm-hmm.
So it was looking for authentic connections. So I basically said, I want to create my thing. I want to create my thing. And maybe there are other people out there that feel the same way that I do. And if I just keep putting myself out there, maybe I will find those women that in their own way feel lonely, not sure why they're doing what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
want to understand that there is more, there just has to be more to life. I was watching a Netflix documentary. It was based on the Apollo movie. And I forget the gentleman's name, but the astronaut was talking about how when he's in space, looking down on Earth and how small and connected we really all are when you have the vision from being in outer space. And so I guess I just wanted to, I don't know, see if I could just help anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just even if you just help one person, and then that one person, just a ripple effect, just
Right.
tells another person. And at this first wellness retreat that I just went to was a transformative experience. And I'm not used to getting text messages from women. I started your journal. It's helping me. It got me back into journaling. And it's
How
just
did that
like,
feel getting those
oh
texts?
God, I just felt like, wow, like that's when I was sitting down and envisioning, pretending I'm on my park bench. Who is the woman that's going to sit down next to me? And what does she look like? And receiving those text messages is ultimately who I wanted sitting next to me at on my park bench when we were doing the ideation module way in the beginning. So I feel like it has come full circle, and I guess I'm just very overwhelmed and grateful. And I still can't believe that this came to life.
You did it. Like you
So,
absolutely did it. You put in the work, you went step by step, you went through the program and you had a vision, and I'm a big fan of journaling too. Like the darkest place times in my life is definitely when I get a journal out. And I've
yeah.
got journals from going back from when I was probably 5 years old, and everything's misspelled and jumbly and my letters are backwards. But like I was going through stuff then too, like different things in my household and whatnot. But um it almost feels like the quickest route to clarity and just self-awareness.
Absolutely.
And I've always found too that when you write down, even like writing down like your fears or
Mhm.
like these things like, oh, I'm so worried about blah, blah, blah. There's just something about like finally saying the thing, seeing it written out. Like, wow, you can almost see like, well, that sounds crazy when I write it out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's kind of a big thought. Like that's not going to happen. I have a lot of intrusive thoughts as a mom and like terrible things I picture in my mind, with my little kids being crazy and um
Mhm.
or even like scary thoughts of them in the future and like things that haven't happened yet that I'm worried about. And so there's just something really powerful about taking time to pray. My friend, not my friend, well, I've met her through the internet, but Rebecca Lyons, she's an author and she talks about the power of journaling in her
Mhm.
book, Rhythms of Renewal. And she says to journal in the morning is like the windshield wipers of the soul. Like it kind of
Mhm.
helps you clear the muck. It's like a car wash for your windshield so you can like see better in the day. And that really stuck with me. And I know you've obviously been a big fan of journaling. What would you say? I know you went through the process of sharing your dreams with your friends and family and inner circle. And we all go through that when we step out and do something like this. I'm curious, what are some of the maybe the misconceptions that people have about journaling or things that hold people back from this beautiful, beautiful practice of journaling?
I think so. From the feedback that I've gotten, is that people, they get excited when they first start something new, and then they find it hard to stay consistent, and so they just give up and they just think that that it doesn't work. Because I always say one of the biggest things is don't lie to yourself in your
Mm,
journal. This is meant to be your safe space. This is where you want to get it all out. And yeah, we start every morning. We call this our self-healing table, but I've got my husband into journaling as well now also. But we sit down and we open up our journals, and it literally does set the day, because I feel like no matter what you say to somebody, until they take action, they might not understand what really am I getting from this. I find people just feel too overwhelmed. I have
mhm,
too much going on in my life. I can't take on another thing. And in my head, I know that this practice will help you get unstuck.
mhm,
But I understand that people also think, well, I don't have time to do anything for myself, let alone start a new habit. So honestly, even if you can just spend 5 minutes a day just reflecting on and learning certain patterns about yourself. I think that's the hardest part too, is people want to change certain things about themselves, but they're embarrassed about what their habitual patterns are.
mm,
And I think they struggle with seeing it written down on paper. But the beauty is that over time, when you're in the moment, it's hard to actually deep down and reflect.
mhm,
The best time to look back at all of your entries is when you're in a space where you can take that 5 minutes where you are alone, and then maybe that night you got enough sleep, and you did move your body. And then you say, oh, wow, that day was really crappy. No wonder why I snapped on that person. Because look at that. I got 3 hours it says I got 3 hours of sleep. And it looks like I feel hopeless. And all of a sudden you're starting to see how you speak to yourself. And how you speak to yourself is turns into then how you behave. And when it's not aligning with how you really want to behave, that's when people start feeling alone and stuck.
You want to isolate. You want to
Yeah.
isolate yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking bad about myself, I had a friend, Steven, in New York, and we were friends from college. And I remember I was talking bad about myself. I don't know if I was like calling myself dumb or something about me. And he was like, hey, quit talking about my friend like that, as if I was talking about someone else. And we kind of have to do that to ourselves. Like we have so much negative self-talk that's just like natural. We have like that voice. And I think the enemy of our soul really tries to get in early with those lies.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to be able to figure out what's a lie and what's truth unless we process it. And what I really love that you've done in this product is you've made it easy for obviously like the person that loves journaling, but you've made it also really beautiful and easy for the person who's a super newbie to journaling. So I want to kind of show off, it's so pretty inside the product. I want to show off how it works and how simple it is. Because like you said, some people are like, I don't have time for another thing. But it really is quite like basic, like in terms of the time it would take to complete it, right? So it starts with a little note in the beginning of what you want to get out of it. And then you have like these little educational pieces every, I think, what, 6 inches?
Yeah, like every fifth entry. Yep.
So
Yeah.
you have a little educational piece that reinforces why we journal, how to embrace journaling, and just really kind of solidify the power of it and remember your why, which is so powerful. And then each day she has everyone is completely different. It's a 90-day journal. So you have like a little prompt here, and it's just a little micro journaling prompt and then an affirmation. Tell me why you put the affirmations in here. What's the kind of the thought behind that?
Well, I felt that from feedback again that I was getting is that people find it hard to believe the affirmations, what they're writing down. But I understood that if you every day speak kindly to yourself through the affirmations, that you would create those new neural pathways to ultimately accepting yourself for who you are. And I felt it was a good way to end off speaking kindly to yourself if you didn't necessarily feel good about what your answer was to the reflection prompt, if it was something that was really hard for you to reflect on. So I just wanted to make sure that since all you needed, all I recommend that you do is just one page a day. So if that prompt triggered a reflection that was too hard for you to handle, I wanted you to, release the emotions so that because we do store the emotions in our body and I don't want you to carry that. So, I know it was always said, don't cry, you need to cry. It's so important. It's a release. It's the energy we need to get out. And so I wanted you to be able to process your emotion, but finish off with reinforcing through reading. And then actually that's why I wanted to say write your affirmation, because when you write it down, you're moving at a slower pace and it becomes more effective that way.
Absolutely. I love these. They're so beautiful. I am strong in mind, body, and spirit. That's one of them. And I just came from a conference this past weekend of Mind, Body, Soul. It was Mind, Body, Soul conference because we're all connected.
Yes.
Yeah, the scripture that comes off of it says, I pray that you prosper and be in good health as your soul prospers. And so that it's all connected, your mind, your body, your soul. And I love all of these beautiful prompts. It's not like this big empty canvas of like, oh, like, I don't know what to write, literally, right? And that's what you were writing for so long. Like, I don't know. This is just really beautiful and practical. And it's 90 days. And so what's the theory behind like 90 days for the journal?
Well, generally, it takes about 90 days to cultivate a habit.
Right.
So I figured, again, if you're just doing one page at a time and it's 5 minutes a day, and before you know it, that 90 days goes by, and I hope, my hope for everyone is that you will realize I can't be without my journal now. It is part of my practice. It is essential for my well-being, and I'm watching myself transform, and that's a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, isn't that what we all want to do? We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to feel like we're enough. And I wanted to really make sure that you understood that it can come from within, because we're all in different situations, whether we're single, whether we're married, whether no matter what your situation is, not everyone has a support system. So I really wanted to make sure that nobody felt alone, knowing that everything you need is within yourself, and you have the power to do it.
That's awesome. The power of you. Yeah. So grab your
Yes.
copy. Tell us the website address, and we will drop the link right here as well below the video.
Excellent. It is www.yourjournalco.com.
Beautiful. Yourjournalco.com. And if you have a wellness retreat coming up and you want to bless your women with a gift or add this as something in like a swag bag, or maybe you want to get your girls together and give them all something like this for Galentine's Day. Go ahead and start planning ahead, or whenever you're watching this, you can reach out to Christy and potentially get a bulk discount code for her website. So make sure you reach out to her at her website, contact her, because this is a great little gift to just enhance your next little hangout or your big conference or whatever's coming up. So thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been really powerful. I guess I would love to end with how was your experience in print school? What was that kind of journey like when you were starting out with the dream in your head to the moment you had it in your hands?
It was truly transformative. It honestly was amazing. I didn't know what direction to go. And there is just so much out there that it becomes so overwhelming. And so the fact that you have print out, the PDFs that I was able to print out, and everything was so organized and aligned with how I like to work, that it was just amazing. I had you with me every day and helping me get through getting it out of here and onto paper, and literally through support, through contacts, through, you had it all. And so I don't think I could have made this come to life in a physical form without you.
Hey, well, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. This is beautiful. This is living on my shelf, and I'm obsessed with it. You did such a great job. I obviously love your taste and style as well. So love the pink, super feminine. And you guys go grab your copy. This is beautiful. What a great thing to step into the new year with, a new habit. Try it for 90 days. It's a great thing to just kind of step into your new future self. So just encourage you guys to grab a copy. Thank you so much again for coming on the show. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Polly. You too.